When it comes to making a smart home, you've got plenty of options. If you're an Apple guy like myself and you've got the iPhone and the HomePod and everything else, you're probably on a HomeKit setup. If you're a Google guy and you've got the Pixel and that, you've probably got a Google Home setup. And if you've picked up an Amazon Echo Dot for 20 bucks in a Prime Day sale, you're probably on Alexa. And hey, maybe if you're a fucking nerd like myself, you've got a fully custom self-hosted blah 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 Home Assistant setup. But there's another option. One that is so impractical and stupid and insecure that you'd never want to actually use it. But it's really funny. If there's something here that you don't have, don't stress too much. I'll be going over most of it. The only thing I won't be covering in this video is how to create your own Home Assistant instance and link all of your smart home devices. That is a very in-depth topic, especially for some brands that aren't great with it. There are plenty of videos on YouTube that will cover this for you, and I'll link a few of them in the description below. As I mentioned, you'll need a Home Assistant server ready to go with all of your smart home appliances connected. You'll also need a 1.16 paper MC server with the LuckPerms plugin and the Miner System plugin. And that's it. It's really simple, honestly. Ideally, you'll want the Minecraft server to be on the same network as your Home Assistant server. If you're using a remote server for the Minecraft or the Home Assistant or whatever, you'll need to make sure that your Minecraft server can access your Home Assistant server remotely. I'm not going to be covering how to set up remote access for your Home Assistant server. That opens up a ton of security issues and general instability that I don't want to be responsible for. Exposing full control of your home to the outside web can be very dangerous, and I wouldn't recommend trying it unless you seriously know what you're doing. Home Assistant Cloud, founded by Nabucasa, which founded Home Assistant, is the easiest and most secure way to do this. It costs $6.50 a month, US, but there's a 31-day free trial if you just want to give this project a try and not worry about it again. And of course, don't deploy this publicly. Do not put this on a public server. Make sure everything is locked down as much as you possibly can, unless you know exactly what you're doing and the implications of opening full control of your home to a public Minecraft server. If that's got you worried, don't stress too much. It's very hard to accidentally open a Minecraft server to the public. It's a fairly involved process. I'm not responsible for any breaches or security issues that come from this video that are your fault. I'm keeping this contained within my home network, and you should too. Assuming you've got a Home Assistant server set up already, there's only one thing you need to do within Home Assistant, which is create your long-lived access token. Head into your Home Assistant instance, click on your name in the bottom right corner, and scroll all the way to the bottom until you find long-lived access token. Create a new one, give it a name, and then copy the token into a text file or somewhere safe. You won't be able to view the token within Home Assistant again. And that's all for Home Assistant. You shouldn't need to open that again. Setting up the Minecraft server is also fairly simple. First, you'll need to download the 1.16 Paper MC server from the Paper MC archives. As always, links to all of the software and everything else in the description below. You'll probably also want OpenJDK installed. If you have Java, you might not need to do anything here. If you get an error relating to the Java version or anything else, you'll want to download OpenJDK version 16 from the Adoptium OpenJDK website in the description below. Once Java is sorted, run the server from your terminal using a command similar to this one and accept the end user license agreement. In this example, I've run it through the specific Java executable that's in that directory that I'm running the server from, but if you've installed OpenJDK or Java through a dedicated installer, you shouldn't need to worry about that. Just type Java instead of the file path. Run the server again to generate all of the necessary files and folders, then stop the server to get ready to install the plugins. You can download both Miner System and LuckPerms from the link in the description, then drag the jar files into your plugin files. Run the server yet again to generate the configuration files for LuckPerms and Miner System, then stop it again. That's the last time you'll need to stop it. Next, we need to tell Miner System where your Home Assistant server actually is. You'll need that long-lived access token you saved earlier. Head into your plugins folder, open the Miner System folder, and open the config.yml file in your favorite text editor. Under HA_URL, enter the URL you use to access Home Assistant. If you're using Home Assistant Cloud for remote access, you can find that URL under Settings, then Home Assistant Cloud. Then enter your access token under HA_token. The last setting, input_mode, decides the limits of how appliances can be controlled within the game. The default option, interact, is the safest, especially if there's other players or mobs on your server. This option only allows players with the correct permission to interact with objects that can control smart home objects. This option somewhat limits how much you can do, and disables the use of items like tripwires, but stops players without permission and mobs from activating devices within your smart home. The other option, redstone, allows any redstone circuit to activate devices within your home. This allows things like pressure plates to toggle on and off, and allows tripwires to be used. This is potentially dangerous as it allows anyone to control items that have been linked to a smart home device in the game. This includes mobs, people without permissions, literally everything. If you're unsure, leave this at interact. Once you've set up your config for Mine Assistant, run your server. The configuration for luck perms is done in-game via a web GUI. Join the game from your Minecraft client, then give yourself op from your console. Giving yourself operator isn't enough to control your smart home devices, which is why we need luck perms as well. Type /luckpermseditor into the in-game chat, then open the URL linked in the chat. Approve the browser with the command given on the website, and select your username under players. Once you're here, add all of the permissions that begin with has to your player and apply the changes. No need to restart the server here, just make sure you hit save. Alright, we're on the home stretch now, we're really close. Place down anything, a lever, something similar, I did a lever here. Then look at it and type /HASS and the item you want to control. The list of everything you can control will appear as completions in the chat and is based on the entity ID within Home Assistant. I don't know if that's the correct name, whatever that identifier is called. You can also use signs to display information like the status of an appliance or other statistics, which is really useful if you ever need a Minecraft sign to display your speedtest.net results at all times. Once it's all set up, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do here. Levers and other redstone items that you use to control your home will also continue to send out redstone signals. I'm not one of those really high-tech redstone engineers. I don't know. I'm not creative enough to think of that. If you have any ideas, leave them in the comments and I'd love to try them out. And I cannot understate how this literally lets you control everything. That's why it's a tad bit dangerous. Anything you can toggle from within Home Assistant can be done with the Mine Assistant plugin. I don't have many smart home things, but even I have just way too many things I could put in game. Here's me toggling the LED on my Wi-Fi router through the Minecraft server. I tried my Apple TV, but that didn't work, unfortunately. If you had an Android TV or like something else, that should work. Through the mobile app, I could view some of my health stats, my focus mode, even my battery life on a sign in-game. You could hypothetically control, I don't know, your home security through the server if you had Home Assistant compatible alarms and door locks. You could turn on the washing machine or the oven with a button in-game. You can see why it's a bit dangerous. And yeah, that's about it. Now you've got a Paper MC server that has full control over your smart home. If you like this video, hit that button, and if you really like this video, maybe even hit subscribe. If you're here at this point, you've probably been around on the channel, and you might have noticed that I hit 1,000 subscribers earlier this week. What the f***? That is insane. At my channel's fastest growth, I went from 800 to 1,000 subscribers in less than 24 hours. Waking up to over 900 subscribers when I'd gone to bed with 800 was a surreal experience, and watching the sub counter tick over to 1,000 with my friends in class was an even better one. I cannot thank you guys enough for sticking around for the ride, and hey, we're just getting started. If you want more Hades, you can click over here to see my Steam Deck PC VR video where I tried to run Beat Saber on my Steam Deck. Didn't really go well. Or you could click over here to see my iPhone 15 Pro Max review. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and everything else for more content. All the links for that are in the description as well. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.